want to be remembered? And I thought his answer, of course, was just perfect. He goes, I want to be remembered as being a good teammate, respected by all the coaches and my peers. I want everybody to know I love the game of football.
And the Denver Broncos have taken Super Bowl 50.
Beer, Broncos, and
Hello
no BS.
again, Broncos country.
Welcome
Really
to
excited
Beer,
to chop up some Broncos.
Orange Weekly. No politics, just football.
How do you want to be remembered? And I thought his answer, of course, was just perfect. He goes, I want to be remembered as being a good teammate, respected by all the coaches and my peers. I want everybody to know I love the game of football.
And the Denver Broncos have taken Super Bowl 50.
Beer, Broncos, and
Hello
no BS.
again, Broncos country.
Welcome
Really
to
excited
Beer,
to chop up some Broncos.
Orange Weekly. No politics, just football.
been rocking orange since an early age. Not since 97, I ain't miss a game. Came up with TD and Rod Smith. I was riding with the team when they got the chip. Before the Chevrolets and the Lobster. I remember Elway's helicopter. I'm telling you, that man was a monster. Way before he had his hands on a roster. He turned the Broncos to a powerhouse. So you know I got a shout out to Johnny Elway. He important, man. He the reason that I'm always rocking orange, man. Always gotta rock orange, that's just how I roll.
What's up, Broncos country? Kevin here, coming to you for another episode of Beer Broncos No BS. If you haven't joined us here on Orange Weekly before, grab your beer. Might need some bourbon, might need some booze, whiskey, vodka at this point, whatever you guys need to help out the Broncos being 0-3. I know that's ideal, but we got a ton of people up in here. Sorry we're starting late. Had some technical difficulties on my end, and we're also waiting for Jared to show up once he is available. But again, my name is Kev Dan. This is Beer Broncos No BS. Start posting some comments, questions here at Orange Weekly. I'm just a fan. We're just fans, and we want to talk to you guys about what your thoughts and opinions are of what's going on. So try to get as many questions answered as possible. If you want to do me a favor and share that video for me, hit that share button and spread the word about Orange Weekly and what we're doing here. Love to get more people on board with this. So we already got Cindy in here. How you doing? Red Cloud, you said you made it just for this? Awesome, man. I'm glad you're here. Dylan, once again, how you doing? Starts off strong. He says, why has Fangio been saying he wants to lead some third and longs to send the blitz, but then we head to the Packers in 3rd and 15 and 3rd and 20, and he played prevent on the 3rd and 20. They almost got the first. He only rushed 3. I wish I could tell you why, man. I really do. Sorry, my glasses are dirty. I wish I could tell you why. I don't know. I saw that too, and I was kind of wondering, hey, why are we not sending that? Now, I mean, we did a couple times. Well, I mean, at least a couple times. So remember those instances where Aaron Rodgers had to throw it away because, Von Miller or Bradley Chubb, someone was, right in his face about to sack him. So we did get pressure on the quarterback. Of course, just resulted in 0 sacks, but that's what you get when you have a smart quarterback who knows what he's doing. We got Jared, who's working on getting up in here. Are you here? Oh, wait. Hold on. You're muted right now. We're going to work on getting Jared in here. I can't hear him yet. I don't know why not. So, Jared, just keep talking and see if I can hear you. If you can hear me. Anyway, so lots of comments, questions. Dylan, I wish I could tell you why. Red Cloud, Trevor Wayne, Bettel. And join in. Okay, he's sharing it. Awesome. I appreciate you guys doing that. Gene, Colorado Springs. That's my hometown. That's where I'm actually moving back here to before too long. Jared, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Jared? No, I'm guessing not. You can hear me? Okay, I want to show you guys I'm not talking to myself here. We got Jared here, but I can't hear you, Jared. Nope, can't hear you. Let's see. No, it's not mine. Yeah, we're gonna get Jared back here in a second, guys. Sorry, technical difficulties. This is why I need a producer. This is why I need a producer, man. Jared, keep trying if you need to call me. Do that. Let's see. Broncos country, Victor, how you doing? Dylan, I was stoked, thinking here we go, and then we rushed 3. Yeah, dude, I know it's frustrating because I was right there with you. But Victor says, faithful to the end, Denver Broncos for life. Dude, I mean, we're going to be here no matter what. So that's exactly how we feel, too. Justin, how you doing? David says, we did the same thing in the Bears game on the big 4th down. Yeah, we only rushed 3, and I'm not sure why. It's interesting because with the talent we have, you think that we would be able to do more than, rush 3 at a time on those big ones. Keep posting comments, questions, guys. Let's see if we can figure it out, get Jared up on here. But either way, you guys are like my co-hosts all the time, so that's fantastic. Can't hear you, Jared. There we go. So also, guys, remember that we do have a Patreon, patreon.com/orangeweekly if you want to help go donate there to help prevent some of these technical difficulties that we're having right now. No, but really, all that money does is go to help us provide you guys better content with better equipment and everything like that. So if you want to go to patreon.com/orangeweekly and donate. You'll also be entered in a chance to win an end of the month prize as well as the end of the season prize, and we do that giveaway live here on Orange Weekly. If you guys want to keep posting some comments, questions, I appreciate all your guys' support. Here's my opinion right off the bat. I think everything that we're seeing right here starts from the very top. I'm not even talking about John Elway. I'm talking about the fact that we don't have a owner right now. And that is having that trickle down. There's no one holding anyone accountable. The Pat Bowlen Trust, I get why Pat Bowlen set that up, but it's been going on for too long now. In fact, I think I mentioned this on Sunday. It's actually part of the NFL bylaws that in order to operate a NFL team, you have to have a set owner. Well, we haven't had that. We've had the Pat Bowlen Trust the last however many years, and other NFL teams are getting pissed off that we were operating without an owner. And the NFL came out and then just basically waived that requirement a couple months ago. So here we are, ownerless, and we're seeing it. We're seeing the impact it's having on the whole team all the way down. Victor, Broncos, Denver Broncos for life. Red Cloud. See, Minshew's coming to town with Saxonville. Yeah, we're going to see how good our offensive line holds up. We gave up way too many sacks against the Packers, and it's just something we're going to have to watch because if we give up too many of those again. We got sacked 6 times. Joe Flacco got sacked 6 times for a loss of 52 yards. I'll let that sink in for a second. 6 sacks, 52 yards. We had a couple quarterback pressures, 0 quarterback hits, 0 sacks. Once again, this is hurting, guys. I'm right. I completely agree. If you're upset, you should be upset because I am just as equally upset. Wesley, how you doing? They need to get some try some play action, and I'm surprised we didn't do more of that because we had a very solid run game going. In order to get the play action to work, you have to have a very solid run game, and ours was working. We were getting 3.9 yards per carry, so just under 4, and it's not a bad average. I like it to be a little bit more, but once we got the run game going, we stuck to it. But that's the perfect opportunity to do some play action, and I just don't know if we did that. It's a fine line. If you do it too often, then it's not going to serve its purpose as, confusing or, tricking the defense. But if you do it enough times, to keep them on their feet, hey, is this going to be a run? Is this going to be a pass? It opens up the options there for what Joe Flacco's trying to do. So, Red Cloud, is it Beth or Brittany? I cannot remember who is going to be the one taking over. I want to say it's Brittany, but I have a ton of good fact checkers here. You guys are awesome. So if someone wants to fact check me, I can't remember who's the one trying to sue and basically invalidate the trust so she can get in there, or who I think Brittany's the one who's going to actually be the trust wants to take have her take over. But either way, it's confusing and this needs to end. Hopefully sooner rather than later. It's probably going to be at least another year, guys. Keith, positive thing, no holds from 72. Thank God. Yep, it's the third game it's his third game in his NFL career with 0 holding calls. Think about that for a second. He's been in the NFL for 2 years, over 2 years. That's 32 games plus 3 others, so 35 games in his NFL career. That's the third time he's had 0 holding calls on him in a game. Yay, right? Like, whew, yeah, go Garrett Bowles. But the stats say this is going to pick back up next week. He has not had 2 back-to-back games without a holding call against him. So, you're right, Keith. I don't want to downplay that. Like, that was huge because that allowed us to get things going. And you think about it, our offense was moving very well. We had several very good back-to-back drives. You take away the 2 fumbles and the 1 interception, now we're looking at a different game. But obviously that didn't happen, so we can't talk about that too much. Dylan says, any word on Wolf yet? Yes, Wolf has a high ankle sprain, which is the worst kind of ankle sprain you can have. We talked about this on Orange Weekly After Dark last night, which usually happens around 9 p.m. Mountain Time on Monday nights. But Jason, the resident athletic trainer here at Orange Weekly, because that's his actual job, kind of broke down what that means. So high ankle sprain is probably going to be out for 6 weeks. Now he is the kind of player that, you know, he's been injured before. He's pushed through some injuries and gotten back on the field faster. Not saying that's exactly going to happen, but right now it's probably going to be no sooner than 4 weeks, probably closer to 6 weeks before Derek Wolfe comes back, which we all know we have no depth on the team right now, and so we're hurting. We're hurting a lot. Hey guys, my name's Kev Dan. We're waiting for Jared. He's trying to come back up. Oh, he's actually here. Okay, sweet. One more time, Jared. Let me make sure.
I'm back. Can you hear me? Check.
I can hear you,
Check,
but
check.
yeah, hold on.
Check,
I can hear you, but hold on. Let's get him up in here.
Some bourbon.
Some bourbon. Hell yeah, man. This is why we. Oh, sorry, guys. Keep posting some comments, questions. We're gonna get Jared up in here because I know we all want to hear what he has to say. He's a lot smarter on this stuff than I am. But for the time being, I need to change where my audio goes through for us. Hey, Jared, how's that?
Check.
Okay, got a problem on my side now. I can hear you, Jared, but it's not coming through. I don't know. Cool, guys. Just stick with us for a minute. Keep posting some comments, questions. Cindy says drink up.
It's been a rough week.
It's been a very rough week. You're not alone in that.
Woo!
Oh, wait, there we go. Jared's here.
Is that all it took?
It's working now. We can hear you.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, all I need to do is scream a little bit for drinking some heavy whiskey.
There we go, guys. Hey, thanks for sticking with us. My name's Kevin. I got Jared here for Beer Broncos and OBS. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, and hopefully, Jared can kind of give his insight on a lot of things. But hit that share button for us. Let everyone know what's going on. We have a ton of you in here right now, but push those numbers up. We got rookie numbers right now. We need more. Jared, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to be talking Broncos. I'm glad to be drinking bourbon. I'd rather be drinking beer, honestly. After wins, you drink beer. You got to hit the hard stuff after the losses. And after about 3 of them, we're sitting pretty heavy right now. So, other than that, though, I'm doing all right. How about yourself, Kev?
I was talking about this earlier. It is rough. Kind of sit here and be an 0-3. Everyone I know is frustrated. We do have some people. Keith was mentioning some good things, and Garrett.
I do want to get on those.
Had 0 holding penalties.
Right. We had 6 sacks though.
Yeah.
So let's and I have a lot of notes here on this, like this give and take. So we had no holds, but we had 6 sacks and no holds from the offensive line. We had that. Are we still a family? Are we a family friendly show? Or am I not?
No,
okay. So we had those bullshit crappy that call on Sanders on the touchdown that pulled him back. But that was really our only holding call. So as far as if we're one step at a time trying to take care of things we need to take care of, we've gotten the holding thing kind of taken care of, which I kind of like and I really enjoy that. However, we had 6 sacks, and I'd say 3 of them were the offensive line's fault. A few of them were Flacco's fault. A few of them were just weird plays that just didn't go right. I don't know if there was a communication error or whatever, but give and take. Give and take.
Let's see. Justin says you're going to need a bigger glass.
I got the whole decanter. Here.
That's how you do it, man. Let's see. Red Cloud says, okay, we ready? And Victor, Deshaun Hamilton has been quiet. Did he get any targets? It seems it's only Cortland Sutton and Emmanuel Sanders getting targets. I think he got a couple, right?
Yeah, I'd have to look at the stats real quick, but I think he did get a couple. The problem right now is that our offense isn't really clicking. I mean, our offense is very tight end heavy, and we have our 2 outside guys. But the other thing that's a big deal right now is that we can't get the ball off in time. He was sacked 6 times. He felt rushed. He felt very rushed. And what ends up happening with that is you end up checking the ball down a lot to your running backs and your tight ends. So, I mean, Phillip Lindsay ended up getting a whole bunch of targets and some good yardage on it. Jeff Wireman, Noah Fant got a few targets too, but it's because of those checkdowns. We got to get the ball out of his hands real quick because that's how we're playing it. And I like that kind of offense. I really do. But as far as the deep stuff, the only stuff that's going to go deep is probably to the outside, which is going to be Emmanuel Sanders and Cortland Sutton.
Right. And I think that's what we're going to expect more of. Now, I was happy with how we moved the ball. I mean, when's the last time we saw a Denver Broncos offense continuously put together solid drive after solid drive? They didn't all end the way we wanted them to, but it happened on pretty much every one of them. I think there was one, maybe 2, 3 and outs, but I mean, that's positive, right?
Yeah, so a lot of our big issues were on turnovers, and I will say Scangarello, he is coming into his own as an offensive coordinator. I was listening to the post-game podcast to and from work today, and while I'd like to disagree with Tanner and Jeff on this one, I think the play calling on the offensive side of the ball is getting much better. It's getting a lot less predictable. There's still predictable times, but I mean, you have to understand that you can call one play in a whole game and say that you knew exactly what the play was running, right? So it's getting less predictable. The ball is getting spread out to the people that need to get the ball spread out to, and they're opening up the field. So when I say we have these checkdowns, like we had that check down to Philip Lindsay, who got like probably 50 yards off of the one check down off to the left side. It's because we're spreading the ball out over the middle, over the left side deep, which spreads the defense out as well. It gives us the opportunity to get those checkdowns. I do wish we would push it a little bit further down in the middle and over the top. There was a play, I think, to Hireman where it was right over the middle, real quick shot over the middle. I think he got a few yards on it, but that's what we're going to be expecting. And Flacco is throwing much more accurate targets as well, and I think that's helping out. So the play calling and Flacco throwing a little bit more accurately than he has the first couple of games is really what's is stepping up our offense. And honestly, if we didn't have those 3 turnovers offense, we'd be talking about a completely different game.
Oh, 100%. Ryan says, let's look at the good things and not the bad, because just gets boring to talk negative. Ryan, I completely agree. So, you know, like you said, the offense is moving the ball well, and it's fun to see that, because now we have a team that has actual potential to score touchdowns. You know, we were 2 for 3 in the red zone. I mean, you can't complain about that. But there were those 3 turnovers, and it's hard not to talk about the negative, Ryan. But so we'll push that off for a second. What else kind of stood out to you there, Jared, as kind of a good thing?
My favorite part of the entire game.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
My favorite person of the entire game, Dalton Reisner.
He got that touchdown. Why is he not credited for that touchdown?
Mother effing Reisner. Right. So he got that touchdown. But if you looked, and it was funny too, because obviously I was here watching it with some people and some friends and family, and every single play that was getting stood up, that he didn't go down right away, you saw him pushing the running back, pushing the receiver. He probably has at least 15 yards and a touchdown to his name in that game alone. Yeah. And I love it. And I love every second of it. I love his enthusiasm. I love how he doesn't give up on a play. Even if it's 10 yards downfield, he's going to push that guy to the first down. He's got us a couple first downs. And I love the fact that it really was shown by the fact that he just picked up Philip Lindsay like a rag doll and threw him into the end zone like he was a rag doll. It was amazing. And obviously Philip Lindsay gets the credit for the touchdown, but Dalton Reisner has 100% of my respect. And I love the fact that pickup, and I'm so happy to have him on as a Bronco.
We should all be just excited as hell to have him on the team, because I mean, there was one run, I think it was Royce Freeman, but he got stuck in the pile after like 5 yards, and they literally pushed him 5 or 6 more yards to get that first down. You're just like, the pack just keeps moving. Like, how has he not gone down yet? So, I mean, these guys, Dalton Reisner was leading a hell of a charge.
If anybody's a big fan of going back and watching the game, especially during the first half and mostly during the second half, just watch. Every time it started to get a little stalled, you see him running up and pushing him for another 5, 6. It's amazing. It's crazy. It's amazing.
I want to put that clip in our intro, man, of just just him picking up Philip Lindsay and throwing him to the end zone. I think I saw a quote earlier. I should have wrote it down or saved it. It said something like, it reminds him of like pig wrestling when he was a kid or something like that. Yeah.
Like, just has to move him, man. Just move him,
dude. So that was amazing. Let's see. We got some more stuff here. Oh yeah, who gets the touchdown? Reisner or Lindsay? Lindsay gets the touchdown, but
unfortunately,
in our book, it should be Reisner. I mean, he didn't have the football in his hand, but he had the ball carrier who had the ball in his hand.
Right. In my book, he's got 1 carry for 1 touchdown. Yep. So I
think it's fantastic. Bob, how you doing? Okay, I think anything else good, Jared, before we kind of move on?
Back to the negatives. Okay, so we had a couple things good. We talked about the play calling. We talked about Flacco's play for the most part. We'll get to the negatives about that. We talked about Reisner. The run game was actually pretty good. We split the carries, which was nice to see, kind of a change of pace a couple times. Philip Lindsay was running well for the most part with what he could do. And I think he had like 5.8 yards carry. And then the other guy, he had 6 point something yards per carry too. So we're doing pretty well on the run game for the most part. And like I said, the play calling of going back and forth kind of opened up the run game, which I really enjoyed. And then that's about where my goods kind of start stopping.
Because Dylan asked, how about that kick return? Finally, something from Deontay Spencer.
Yes. So that was funny too, because he had that huge kick return, and then they just were like, stop. Just kick it out of the back of the end zone. We're not playing this game anymore.
Exactly.
For the record, I know, Kevin, you know this, and I don't know if some of these watchers know this, but I lived in Canada, in Ottawa, Canada for 3 years, and Spencer used to be on the Ottawa Red Blacks. He got pulled down from the CFL, so that's a little throw out to the CFL. And the talent and athleticism of the players that they have up there, that speed.
Well, we need that. And so once again, we're talking about things we haven't seen in a while. When's the last time a team purposely kicked it out of the end zone to avoid our running back
our special teams, right?
Because he was all of a sudden a threat, And when's the last time we saw anyone have a 50-yard kick or punt return? I mean, I was just waiting for some holding. Honestly, negative Nelly here. I was waiting for some holding call or block in the back or something, because it seemed too perfect. And it was a very well run play, and he got the ball up the field there. So yeah, special teams looked a lot better there, I'd say.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's see. Dylan says it was cool the refs let him keep playing instead of blowing it dead too fast like they usually do. Yeah, I mean they probably could have blown some of those plays dead earlier on, but hey, the pack of people just kept moving, so they just kept the play going.
Yeah. They did that a lot, and not just on our side, but the other side too. They were really trying to let the play go, especially in the pileups. There was one pileup that I think on a run they had. I could have swore they were standing there for like 15 seconds, just like pushing it back and forth, and they ended up getting a first down because they ended up pushing it for extra 5 yards. And I was like, "Are you really not going to blow this?" But yeah, they let them play. I do enjoy letting the refs let them play for sure.
Yeah. Let's see. Third down defense good in the game. So what do you think about? I mean, we don't have any sacks, but how many times did Aaron Rodgers have to throw the ball away because he knew he was about to get his world rocked?
Yeah, and there really was. There was a couple times that I was super excited to watch him have to run for his life. And I was hoping for a sack this game, but wasn't really expecting it.
Sure.
The Green Bay Packers, after the injuries to Aaron Rodgers in the past, have really boosted up their offensive line to try to make sure that, and their offensive play calls to make sure that he doesn't get touched and he doesn't hit the deck. And it worked, obviously. So. I mean, hats off to the Packers, but we have some other things to work on.
Yep. Hey guys, my name's Kev Dan. I'm here with Jared. If you guys want to keep posting comments, questions, we'll talk about some things. And also just hit that share button for us. Also remember that we have a ton of Broncos content for you, just like Jared did right there. That was perfect, man. Tons of stuff for you guys. Pre-game podcast, post-game podcast. We got a pre-game show on Facebook, a halftime show on Facebook. We got, if you're a betting guy, a betting person, Ray has his show on Sunday mornings where he gives you the betting lines of the day and gives you his take. Unbiased. He even I think was completely against the Broncos this last week. So
he was, yeah. I think he's 10 for 12, I think, or something like that. Yeah. He's only lost 2 of the 3 weeks we've done it. So I mean, he knows what he's doing.
I would listen to him. I think I have before even. So
I have.
Tons of stuff for you guys. So just keep checking back here at Orange Weekly, and we got you guys covered. Bob says, what do you think of our head coach so far? So I know there's a lot of people. I don't say a lot of people. There is definitely a group of people who want everybody fired. They want John Elway fired. They want Vic Fangio fired. They want us to trade Vaughn and trade Chris Harris and trade Emmanuel Sanders. My take on it, Jared, none of that's going to happen. But looking at the offense, just the head coach in general, Coach Fangio, what is your take on him and the coaching staff?
If we're looking at this from a purely brand new team point of view,
yes,
not a team that won Super Bowl 50, not a team that has a history of nothing but winning, but a team who has gone the last 2 years being pretty god-awful at football. I am super impressed with what Vic Fangio has done with the Denver Broncos. The scoreboard says 0-3, but the team that we're watching And this is the other thing too that we have to keep in mind. We just played a Super Bowl quality, a Super Bowl caliber, a favorite in some people's pockets to win the Super Bowl football team who made 0 mistakes and got the job done. We were a team who had a lot of very good things going for them. We did a lot of good things right. We didn't lose by a lot. And if we made 0 mistakes, we would have won that game.
Yep.
So that's really what it comes down to. So what I see from Vic Fangio is progress, which is something that we did not see from the last regime. Fangio, Scangarello, they all have this progress that we're seeing from day one, week 1, where we were straight hot garbage against the Oakland Raiders, to week 3, where all it took was a couple of mistakes for them to beat us, a Super Bowl quality team to beat us. Let's remember that.
Right.
And we've made leaps and bounds and strides, and you could tell, and obviously everyone's a little down because of the losses. Now we're 0-3 on the scoreboard, but you could tell that the level of competitiveness, which is something, again, we didn't see last year when we started losing, has not changed.
Yep. Everyone still seems to be motivated. It sucks, but everything we're hearing from the players and in terms of what Coach Fangio is telling them, hey, we're living in a world of suck, but, it's something you got to live with. You got to push through. It's part of what's going on, and I think he's keeping everybody's, minds right. There's none of this internal battle or, just personnel issues that we were having the last couple of years. That's the thing that I'm impressed by, like you just said, is that week-to-week progress. And it's going to take time. And I know Broncos country, we're frustrated because, the previous 2 years we saw 0 progress. We always talk, okay, rebuild. And now we're here, we're saying rebuild again. But really, the last 2 years don't count. If you ask me, we saw 0 progress from the last 2 years. Now here we are, okay, this is when our actual rebuilding is starting. And we're actually seeing that progress every week. And, I really think once we start winning games, they're going to come in bunches. It's not just going to be like, oh, look, we won one random game against the Cardinals, and now we're going to lose the next 4 or 5. You know what I mean? So that's what has me going. Let's see. Red Cloud says, Green Bay's first touchdown was classic Rodgers, that free play master. Yep, that's what you expect from someone like him.
I can't even be mad.
He also says Chubb and Miller are about to heat up. I got us going in a wild card. Okay, we can talk about that later. But what do we expect to see more from Chubb and Miller in the next couple games? I mean, I know there's people saying, hey, don't use them in coverage as much, just let them loose. What, from your point of view, what have you seen that is been holding them back, or what do they need to do to get going?
So, I just harped on this, and something that Vic Fangio has done to the Broncos is that progress. Unfortunately, we haven't seen that on the defensive side, and we don't want to get too negative, but at some point I want to talk about how the defense has not been living up to the expectations they need to based on play calls and how conservative we've been playing with the amount of athletes and talent that we have on that defense, especially on the defensive line. However, I agree with you. I think Vaughn and Chubb are about to start heating up, and this is why that progress I told you about. Vic Fangio is not going to sit back and let this just happen, right? First team in 50 years or something like that to not have a takeaway or a sack, some ridiculous stat that somebody came up with. I don't even care. Look, they're going to start heating up, and they're going to start getting it. They're not going to be the sack leaders this year like we thought they were going to be at the beginning of the year. I'm sorry. It's unfortunate, but that's what's going to happen. But you are going to see them coming up with big plays at big moments because our team and our play calling and the whole idea of the progressiveness of the defense is going to start catching up. We're going to start game planning better because now that we have Fangio, the reason he was a genius on the defense is because he knew how to game plan. And now that we start having these game plans, we start having these films on people and different teams, I think we're going to start seeing them be much better and start picking up matches much better than we could have at the beginning of the year.
Yep. I mean, Dylan even said we played 2 really good defenses back-to-back weeks. We played 2 pretty decent teams, if you think about it, back-to-back weeks. I mean, the Bears' offense isn't something to write home about, but they're not terrible. You know what I mean? Right. But their defense is
I look what they did to Washington. Ugh.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see. Bob says, hell no, keep the longtime Broncos. We love Von Miller and Sanders and Elway and Harris. And so the only reason I bring that up is because there's that small group of people calling for that. And I don't know if any one of, those people watching right now are in that category, but, we talked about it last night on Orange Weekly After Dark. What do the Broncos need to do right now to change things? So there's nothing to do. There's no one, I think Dylan even asked, is Ramsey going to be playing for the Jags? I don't see why not, and the Jags don't want to trade him. Even then, who would we trade away that would improve, You know, so this is the team that we have. This is the coaching staff we have. And I really believe, like you were talking about, that we can grow on the people we have right now. We don't need to go getting rid of people and starting from scratch. And, when are we going to get Drew Lock in there? He's going to play as soon as he comes back. No, he's not. But I don't know, man. I think that for the majority of it, at least the fans we have here, the majority of people are, diehard as we are. And it's like, yes, let's just keep going. It's going to get better, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, and let's remember, what was it? The Houston Texans went 0-3 last year, and they ended up 11-5. So
it's not impossible.
I'm not nearly giving up on the Broncos, and I won't even give up. 0-6. I'm not giving up on the Broncos. It's just not happening. Just not happening.
Let's see, Caesar. Do you think Rick should be on the field with Vic Fangio? So coaching question there, because
right.
Coach Fangio is still getting used to being on the field. I think he's getting much more accustomed to that. But what are the benefits? That's a very good question. What are the benefits of the offensive coordinator being up in the booth versus on the field?
So two things. One, you always want to have at least one of your coordinators up in the booth. And since Vic is calling the defensive plays and he's the head coach, he has to be on the field. And the reason you want a coordinator up there is because you're supposed to be like this with your coordinators. And your coordinators can see that bird's eye type view on stuff that you can't see from the field. Remember, nobody is like 8 feet tall to be able to see over to the other side or to see what coverages are happening. You can see a little bit from the sideline, but that bird's eye view from the booth is much better. It's difficult to be an offensive coordinator up in the booth, other than the fact that it's a little bit more quiet up there to be able to get plays into the headset. The difficult part about that is if that headset doesn't work or you don't get it in time, because that cuts out at 20 seconds, I believe. Mm-hmm. That headset cuts out at 20 seconds. So if you don't get that play in time, there's no way that he could turn to the sideline and yell it to him or try to give him advice. That's the only thing I see. But that also means he has a lot of faith in his positional coaches. So those positional coaches are out there coaching up his guys. They're all on headsets together, right? They're all communicating. He's given those guys the free reign to coach up his quarterback, coach up his offensive line, coach up your running backs, let them know this is what's happening from the booth so he's not on the sideline. And that's an interesting way to put it. Most of the time your defensive coordinator's up there. Right. But so far, again, like I said, he's seeing things and he's game planning and he's changing his game plan based on what he sees. And I think that's starting to show a little bit more as well.
Completely agree. So Caesar, great question, man. Bob, I'm ready to see them versus the Colts. I think the next couple of games are going to be really good. Justin says we need to be 3-3 when we break some arrowheads. I think that'd be huge. I'll pull up the schedule here at the end of the show, guys, and we'll kind of walk through kind of what we think's going on. Let's see, Justin, secondary defense still looks pretty shaky though. So what have you seen, Jared, from the secondary? And do you think that might be any issues with the secondary? Might be why we're pulling, Vaughn and or Chubb kind of back in coverage a little bit to help those guys out?
I don't think it's issues with the secondary. I think it's issues with our linebacking core and the type of play calls we have. So I want to get into this, if you don't mind, about the play calling on the defensive side. So like I said, defensive play callers usually call it from the booth because they can see more. I feel like we're missing a little bit of that. Fangio is still getting used to being a head coach and a defensive coordinator at the same time, and I think he's missing a little bit of the defensive coordinator side. I think he can't spend his entire focus on defensive coordinating, and it's missing some things like rushing 3 on 3rd and long against Aaron Rodgers. Or things like that. There was a couple other plays that kind of was like, really? Like the big touchdown on the free play was lining up a free safety against their number 2 wide receiver on the slot. Like these things just shouldn't happen. And if you're paying attention close enough, which most defense coordinators can pay close enough attention to that, I think that's where it's coming in. But I think he's coming into his own. But the problems with the secondary, I honestly thought our secondary played pretty good comparatively against an Aaron Rodgers offense.
Yeah.
And we talked in the pregame game or the pregame show about if we thought it was going to be too rainy for him to be able to let go. But honestly, the weather really wasn't a factor, except for a couple moments there. It started downpouring, but that was about it. Against an Aaron Rodgers offense and an Aaron Rodgers arm, and the fact that we weren't getting very much pressure, our defense did a decent job.
I agree.
Our DBs did a decent job, and I think what they did is they moved some people around. The young kid, what was his name? I forget his name. Bosby.
Yep.
Yeah, he played amazing.
Yeah.
He was flying all over the field. So I think again, it's starting to happen. The pieces are starting to fit, and then And this is what I was talking about. The same complaints that we had last week aren't here this week. It's just new complaints because we lost, right? It's new things that we need to fix. And I think that's what it's a system. It's a systematically fixing the things that we need to fix until it's all fixed. And now we have a straight shot. We can't expect to be perfect right out the gate.
Right there with you, man. Red Cloud says, first Alfredo says Sanders is the heart of the team. I'd say so.
I'll give that
a huge part of it. Dylan says, what about Callahan? Will we get him back this week? Probably not. I'm thinking might be another week or two. It might be. I don't know. He was questionable last week, wasn't he?
I saw a rumor that he might have to get surgery, but I don't want to put out information that I don't know 100%.
Yeah, that'd be a huge loss. But we're also waiting for Juwan James to come back as well. So
right.
Yeah, we'll stand by on Callahan. I forgot that. I don't know if it's confirmed yet or not. If he needs surgery, if he does, that's pretty much done for him. And Red Cloud says it's a gelling process. Our boys played 3 tough games. Completely. Anthony, how you doing? Just keep working. That's what I hope they keep doing.
Hey, can I say this? And you're going through these questions. You're going through your statements. I'm not gonna lie, man. I came on this show thinking that the Broncos country that I've been seeing on some of these stats and some of these like posts, we're gonna come out here doing exactly what you said. Fire everybody. This is terrible. We're an awful team. But you know what I love is our fans, the Orange Weekly followers, are completely 100% with us and said, you know what, I'm not giving up on this team. I could see the light. And I think what it is we've seen the darkness.
Yep.
And we know this is not what darkness looks like, but we can see that we can. And I love it. So all of you guys commenting, I love this mentality. I love this motivation. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm going through these going, wait, where's the really bad ones? There are none.
Right.
There are none.
Hey, our drinking games it's gonna be out the window.
We were going to do a drinking game, guys, where every time somebody said fire Elway or get rid of Von Miller, we were going to do a shot.
We're going to drink, yeah.
We can't
do that now because now there's just going to be a bunch of comments just to get us drunk.
They're like, I'm just going to comment this so they can.
I still have to go to work tomorrow, right?
And so, I mean, Clyde says, I think throwing in Drew Lock for a game, see how he does. I mean, that's not saying, hey, scrap everything. That kind of comment I can appreciate because, there's some thought behind it. But first off, my take on it, Jared, is we're not going to put in, forget he's injured right now, but we're not going to see him until it's just like mathematically impossible or we're not going to the playoffs. And then, okay, maybe, throw him in there for some games to see how he does, but we're not going to put him in there because we think Flacco's doing terrible, which I don't think he is. He threw 1 interception yesterday on Sunday.
Right. And the ball slipped out of his hands. I rewatched it. I was angry, and I was angry when it first happened. I was like, because I'm super hard on quarterbacks. You know this. Yeah. But it slipped out of his hand. There's nothing. It was right around that same downpour time. But we're going to see Drew Lock this season, and this is why I say that. Our offensive line is not, choose my words carefully, they're not holding up their end of the deal when it comes to pass protection. They're doing well in what we need to do, and I think once the system kind of starts taking place and the systematic ends up getting to where it needs to be, we'll be fine. But he's gonna get hit. He's gonna get hit a couple times. When Drew Lock comes back, it's gonna be later in the season. Old man Flacco is gonna start getting a little tired a couple times. He's gonna get hit the wrong way one time. He's gonna need a breather, and I think we're gonna see Drew Lock for a little bit. But do not expect him to go in there and just light it up or light up a show or do what is named the Duke kid, Daniel Jones, is doing over in New York. That kind of turnover is not going to happen. And I'm sorry, I for those of you that are huge Drew Lock fans and want him to be the number 1 guy coming in, it's not going to happen. We might see him a little bit during the regular season. It's either going to be in garbage time where we'll probably just run the ball out anyway, or if Flacco gets hurt and in that situation, we're going to be in other worlds of pain and see what he does. But I don't think it's going to be like a Manning situation when we had Osweiler, where Manning got hurt. Osweiler came in, actually played pretty well. It's going to be a different scenario. So I like Drew Lock. I think he's going to be good and eventually really play well in preseason. So that's the other reason I'm kind of like, I like the idea of having a new quarterback in there, but I don't like the idea of someone who just played so crappy in preseason and got injured. Now we're talking about not knowing the people, not knowing the timing with his receivers. Let's give it some time.
Right. It's either way, it's going to take time because he's injured, right? Let's see.
Right.
The Packers game was on our offense. Unfortunately, I think is what Red Cloud is saying. Turnovers. Chad says never
Right.
giving up. Anthony 100%.
That's what's
Justin
up.
says keep drinking anyway. Which, I mean, if I need a reason to drink, then
Hey,
there
I'm
it
still
is,
doing it.
right?
Hey, so shout out to the drink. I got this one. I call it the Orange Crush because
Ooh.
it's Orange Crush. But no, it's Orange Crush and Captain Morgan. This is my drink of
Ooh.
choice on game days, so I got you guys.
That might be the new official drink of Orange Weekly. You know.
Now I got to hit up Captain Morgan and start getting paid for this.
Andrew
I take
says,
bottles. I take bottles.
There you go. Andrew says, "What's up, fellas? Like I've been saying since week one, not giving up on this team. Never will. Everything is new. We'll find our groove and kill it." Let's see. Red Cloud says Bledsoe and Brady don't count the backups out.
Right.
So
I
we're
get
not counting them out. It's not gonna. We are paying Joe Flacco this money to be that bridge quarterback.
Yep.
And give Drew Lock some time to come about. And that's going to take time. So,
yeah.
Let's see. Dylan says, remember Simeon looked pretty good, then he got injured and just folded anytime a defender breathed on him. Hope Locke has some balls and doesn't get scared. That's what I'm hoping from any quarterback, right?
Hey, that's the kind of hot take I like from Orange Weekly, man. That's what I'm talking about.
I love it. Okay, guys, we're going to start kind of transitioning a little bit. We kind of broke down everything that went wrong and a lot of the good things. If you know where to look, there are a lot of good things last week as well. But let's start looking towards the Jaguars. And Jared, do you have your segment prepared? Your State of the AFC West?
Yes.
You ready to do this? Let's break down that.
Hey, let's do this.
Here we go. I'm so happy that I made that intro segment just for you, man.
The amount of explosions are just
That's what you wanted.
ridiculous. I love it. I said explosions. I wasn't expecting. Anyways, state of the AFC West. Here we go. So this is how I feel about our AFC West. We are still a very strong division, and unfortunately, it's not us that's keeping it strong. It's the Kansas City Chiefs and the Chargers. The Chargers haven't played very hot the first couple games, and the Raiders have lost their last two. They beat us. They're 1-2, and so are the Chargers. But look at this. Next week, the Chargers have the Dolphins, so that's like a guaranteed win, and maybe a win and a half, possibly 2 wins. I'm not sure how the NFL is going to go about this, but we are 0-3. This is how I see it. Everybody have a drink.
Cheers.
We are the Denver Broncos, are boys playing amongst men in the AFC West. But before you get on me, don't jump on me, don't get mad. We see some pubic hairs growing, all right? They're there. Our voice hasn't dropped yet, but the pubic hairs are there. And we have a chance to become men and become better men than the ones that they're playing out there. And I think that we're going to take 1-1 with the Chiefs when we play them later on in the season. I don't know if we're there yet, but I think we can later on in the season once we get our groove on. But the pubic hairs are there, guys, to take the AFC West. I don't think we're going to win the AFC West this year. Kansas City is very stacked. Look, they have a very good team. I like Andy Reid. I mean, 50% of the coaches in the NFL are from the Andy Reid tree. There's a reason for that. He's a great coach. He's put together a good team. Patrick Mahomes is somehow inhuman. But look, we have a good AFC West, and honestly, we really do. We're 0-3 in the AFC West. We've only played one game in it, but 0-3 in over the season. But that all these teams, no matter who plays us, the Chargers, the Raiders, definitely Kansas City, they have to game plan. They have to be angry. They have to be mad, and they have to be worried about any team in the AFC West. So the state of the AFC West is strong, regardless of what our schedule looks like or what our win-loss percentage looks like. The state of the AFC West is strong, and on the top, holding it down, is the Kansas City Chiefs. But I want to say it one more time. Our pubic hairs are growing. They're there.
Justin says some sproutage.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. We got some sproutage.
That's awesome.
The voice hasn't dropped yet. We're getting the voice thing going. You know that when you try to like yell and it's like, I don't have but we're there.
It's so. I mean, here's one thing. I mean, yeah, our record says 0-3, but we're only one game behind the Raiders and the Chargers.
Right.
It's not
Right,
like
we're
they're
only-
all 3-0 and we're 0-3. We're only one
Absolutely.
game behind second place in the AFC West.
Absolutely. And we've only lost one game in the AFC West, and we have lost 2 games to possibly play off one Super Bowl contender. So
Right.
that's where we stand.
Okay, I like it. Let's start moving towards this next week's game. So we got second home game of the season, which would be nice to see. Jacksonville coming to Denver.
Yes.
What's your take on Jacksonville in general? And what are some, I guess, just big picture things you're starting to think of looking into this matchup?
So the big thing I think about when I think about Jacksonville is the talent that they have on paper is very much like Denver, but it doesn't show when it comes game day, especially their defense. Their defense is scary. It really is. They have a lot of very big pieces on their defense that could really shut us down if they let us. But I think our game plan is going to be able to let us step up because they haven't been playing very well lately either. And then the other one, too, is the Gordon Minshew, the mustache. Mustachio on the offense. We don't know much about him, and the reason he's been able to play so well, it's the Fitzpatrick concept, right? Like, no matter where Fitzpatrick goes, he'll play very well for the first couple of games because no one knows how to play against him with the system that he goes into, and he picks up systems very well, and that's what I feel about Gordon Minshew. However, he's had a couple of games now, and I think we're going to be able to plan and game plan against it, and I hope we do. I hope we can study that and figure that out. So that's what I'm looking forward to this Jacksonville game.
Let's see. Dylan says, going back to the your intro video there, Jared, he says, love the choice of music. Thank you. I'll take credit for that one. He also says, I think the NFC North might be the strongest, then the AFC West, then the NFC West. They're all looking good, though, as well. So,
Yeah. NFC North is strong.
James posts, it's a GIF or GIF, however you say it, diagnosis puberty. So
Yes.
this is a
That's
good
what we
little
need.
running joke you got here, Jared.
Hey, look, this is going. I love it.
This is what we're going to be known for, is puberty jokes. Like,
Hey, there's worse things to be known for, all right?
let's see how many times we can say sproutage in an episode.
Drink.
Drink. Let's see. John says Denver needs Cap. We need so we can be empowered. That's not happening. I'm not going to go there other than just it's not happening for any team
Yeah.
or us. Dylan says 1-3 after Sunday. Mark it down. Okay, getting that
I'll
win
take it.
going. Mark, how you doing? Let's see. Justin says we're actually the favorite to win. So, what do you think? Where do you think we have the strength over the Jaguars?
All around.
You think so?
All around. Our team is better. And it's funny that we have that we favor to win, even though our record doesn't show it, because that means Vegas also knows that game. I mean, especially against the Packers, again, 3 mistakes, 3 small mistakes, and the Noah Fant fumble. I want to say I'll chalk it up to a rookie mistake, man.
Yeah.
Like he did
And
hold
good
on to the
defense.
ball, and the defense just pulled it out. Like that was great defense. The interception slipped out of his hands. He probably shouldn't have thrown it if he got loose, but. And then I think the third one was the fumble. There was a fumble or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, 3 turnovers changes that game completely. And honestly, that's what they see. They see that we have a team that we can put it together. We eliminate a couple mistakes. We eliminate 2 of those mistakes. We win that game. And I think that's what they see. And I think that's what it shows, that the Jacksonville Jaguars are not Super Bowl contenders like the Green Bay Packers. We have a much better chance to beat them than we do of anybody else.
I agree.
Well, I mean, we have a better chance of beating the Dolphins than anybody else,
Wow.
but we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that later. Yeah. I wish. Well, we don't play the Dolphins though this year, right?
No, but I wish we did.
That'd be nice if we could, but whatever. Fine. I hate saying that. Well, if we hadn't had these 3 mistakes, we would have won. I mean, but it goes back to the Bears game. It also goes back to the Raiders game, and I want to finally be able to say we had very little mistakes and we won. Because of it.
Yeah.
And I think this team is very close to making that happen.
Right.
That Noah Fant thing, like you said, I mean, that's just solid defense. I mean, any
Right.
good defender's going to try to rip it out. So
That was a
you
smart
got,
heads-up play.
it's his 3rd NFL game of his entire life.
Right.
The kid's going to make some mistakes. I call him kid because now these rookies are like younger than me.
Yeah.
And you, because you're an old man.
Almost up. We're the same age.
Shut up. Anyway. What do you think, man?
Look, and this is the reason I say those mistakes, because in the first two games you could point to a lot of mistakes, and it wasn't just a one play thing, or like a, hey, if he didn't fumble it, or if he didn't throw this interception. It was a lot of things. It was, hey, why did we keep running the board? Why did we keep throwing the ball 46 times instead of run the ball and switch it out? Like, why did we do this? Why did we do that? There was a lot of questions, and this time it literally boils down to those three plays. Well, a fourth one, but I don't want to get into it because I hate hating on the refs, but that stupid Emmanuel Sanders call.
When the announcers even say that was wrong.
I'm just a couple mistakes. And I think if we are really getting it, and I think the team's starting to get it and the team's coming together, it does suck to get in the loss column against a good team, but I think against the Jacksonville Jaguars is really our time to come back and really show the NFL and our fans and ourselves what the Broncos really stand for this year. And I think that kind of starts the ball rolling a little bit more on okay, we actually have something going here.
Well, what I appreciate is the fact that you can see the offense is getting that. They're starting to gel. You know, they're starting to get know that they're capable of doing this. They're putting together drives. Coach Fangio is telling them to go for 2 to win the game. You know, and then they go out there and they do it. You know, they're making things happen. I kind of what you're talking about. I think that this is the game where they're going to be able to put it together. And okay, finally, everything's paying off. We're looking good. We're not just beating like a Dolphins team because Alfredo says playing the Dolphins would just stunt our growth. We need to play the tough
teams.
Yeah,
I like it.
I don't know. These stunt the growth and the puberty thing. It's kind of going hand in hand here. But
it's why you don't drink coffee before you hit puberty. Anyway.
But so I think that, you know, it's easy to say, but I really think this is going to be the chance where we see everything come together. With that being said, is there anything that's worrying you about either our team or Jacksonville?
For this upcoming game, the only thing that worries me is the pass rush of Jacksonville. The way that our pass protection has been lately, the pass rush of Jacksonville is what worries me the most. But I also have more faith than most people do in Scangarello to be able to game plan against that speed rush. Again, he's very young as an offensive coordinator, and he's still learning the ropes and figuring out what he needs to game plan against. And I think it's going to start coming to fruition. I think it's going to show up in this game. They have very, very strong pass rushers. They have very strong linebackers, which is something that we haven't really played against other than the Bears game, I guess. We played against a couple of good linebackers, but this pass rush is going to be something that scares me a little bit. We have to game plan against that. Not too worried about Jalen Ramsey if he does play against us. Not too worried about the other corners, honestly. But, yeah, that pass rush. I'm hoping that we can keep Flacco up. And if he can stay up and focused and stay in the pocket, then we have a very, very good chance of lighting up, not just winning, lighting up the Jacksonville defense.
What's your over-under on how many sacks we're going to give up this week?
3. I say 3. Yeah.
I know if it's 6 and we lose another 50 yards from sacks, and that's going to not – I don't know if that's going to be what causes us to lose the game, but that's going to make it a whole lot tougher than it, you know, should be to win that game. But it's okay to give up some sacks, but do you think this is also? I'm looking at this saying we're not playing Aaron Rodgers. We're playing somebody who isn't as smart, with maybe not as smart, but as an experienced as Aaron Rodgers, and you can see Aaron Rodgers moving just enough to get out of arm's reach of Von Miller, and oh crap, here they come, we'll just throw the ball down. I don't think you're going to see that out of Jacksonville. And so, what's your prediction on possible how many even QB hits we get?
We get more sacks than Jacksonville does this week.
Okay.
And I say this for a couple of reasons. We talked about it. Sorry, I don't remember. I think it was Justin earlier that said something about the sacks and how we're gonna see Von Miller and Chubb go off. I forget who said that, but we're gonna see them go off because A, they're angry, A, they're hungry, and B, the offensive line of Jacksonville's terrible. And I think Gordon Minshew is very young still. He's got this kind of like aura of like, oh shit, my shit don't stink because I'm new and I'm doing well. But you're going to get a Bradley Chubb, Von Miller sandwich a couple times. And that's going to change. And what's going to happen after the first big hit from Von or Brad? Like, I think Bradley Chubb's going to rock this dude.
You think so?
I think he's going to rock this dude to until he gets scared. And it's going to start getting bad. Like Cam Newton Super Bowl 50 scared. Like
Okay.
I think that's and that's what I want to see. I think that's what Broncos country is waiting for, is that one hit
Yeah.
that really scares quarterbacks to be like, oh crap, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Um,
It won't just send a message to Jacksonville. It'll send, a message
it's
to
a message
every,
across the
every
league.
team. All of a sudden,
Right.
we're not the
Oh.
team with 0 sacks. All of a sudden, we got
Right.
the team with, holy crap, these guys are going to light me up if I'm not, paying
In the right
attention.
place at the right time. Right.
Uh,
And that's
let's
what we
see.
need. That's what we need.
Yep, totally agree. Justin asked, do you think Flacco has been holding the ball too long?
Yes.
I think yes, but
Oh,
what do you
fine.
think he's looking for, man? Because I'd imagine Joe Flacco's not just holding it onto the ball just to, hold on to it. But is it something he's seeing down the field? Is he just not comfortable yet enough with trying to, make things happen? Or, what's your take on it all?
So this is 100% what I see and what I think. Again, and there's a lot of things that we talk about here. We're not out there. We don't talk to him. I don't know why his reasoning for holding onto the ball, but what I see is he's not comfortable enough with our receivers to be able to trust him. The times that he is getting the ball out to people, it's not in tight coverage. And we know he could throw those tight coverage throws.
Yeah.
We know it. That's why we brought him in here. But I don't think he's comfortable enough with the receivers yet to be able to trust him that he's not going to throw an interception. That brings me to point number 2. He's afraid to throw an interception. One thing with our offense, and it has been for the last since Peyton Manning left, is we're a ball control, time management offense. And if we throw an interception, like we saw, we had 3 turnovers this game. We throw an interception, that could be the difference between the game, and he knows that. So I think he's so afraid to throw an interception that he's not willing to put the ball into position that only his receiver can get, because he's afraid of that interception. And then my third point is he's wanting to check down real quick. And then what happens is you check down, that gets in your head like, oh my gosh, I've checked down way too much. And it's not, and people on social media are like, this guy's checking down all the time. Or you got the coaches on the side like, man, dude, you had the dude open in the middle. So now what happens is you think that your check down, okay, I'm not going to use my check down this time. You look up, you look down the field, and everything's actually covered for that play.
Right.
It just takes out the mentality. It's a big mental game as a quarterback. And I think that's the 3 reasons in my head that I see. Again, I'm not down there I haven't talked to Flacco. I haven't called his personal cell phone to let him know. But those are the things that I see with him holding the ball too long.
Gotcha. Daniel, do you remember Daniel Seif from high school?
Daniel, what?
Seif? Okay, he went to high school with us. He says hi.
Nice. Oh, hey,
he's
what's going
watching.
on, man?
That's if we talked about His Majesty much yet. I don't know who His Majesty is. You're gonna have to tell me there. Dan, good to see you though. Tony says, "Is your interior line going to be able to stop the horrible run blocking?" I don't know. I think the interior of our line is okay.
Are you talking about our offensive line?
I think so.
So this is something that we brought up. I want to say on the pregame show, or I don't remember who I was talking to about this, but somebody was saying that they're not a fan of the run, the inside run with Philip Lindsay. But something I want to mention is that our run is, I think we talked about this on the pregame show. Our run is it's a zone run. Right. So what's happening is the whole line is shifting one way or another, and then Philip Lindsay's trying to find the hole, and that's what makes him such a good running back. Is he's so patient and quick to hit holes that it hits open in the middle all the time, because they're trying to isolate the outside, and it's something in the middle is going to be open. That's the whole thought process behind the zone run. If we get 5 yards per run, if we get 5 yards per carry, then we're good for the game. So that's what's happening with the run. I think our offensive line run block is great. Against this linebacker, these linebackers and these outside linebackers, it's going to be difficult, but I don't think we're going to shy away from it in any way, shape, or form.
Agreed. James says Flacco should have played more in the preseason to gel with the receivers. And this is a conversation I think we're going to see the next few years. I foresee the NFL changing preseason in some manner. Not sure what, but the pendulum swung so far for the majority of the teams in the NFL this year. Of all of a sudden, that whole game 3 of the the run through or the practice, for the actual NFL season. I mean, how many starters actually played in week 3 of the preseason? How many starters actually played more than, a drive or 2 in game 3 and 4? So now we got these guys going out and a brand new team, essentially, with a brand new coach, brand new quarterback for the team, several young players. And now we're starting on, week one trying to formulate and gel everyone together while we're playing teams that are well set up, like the Raiders, like Green Bay, and like the Bears. We're trying to catch up versus these teams that have already been playing together for at least a year, if not longer.
So, and this is a big point, and I might sound like that old man on the patio, get off my lawn, but the NFL has changed, and football in general, and high school level, college level, it's all changed. Practice is not at game speed ever, and it's not supposed to be, because you're worried about the injuries. You really are. It's more advantageous for us to play practice games, or play practice at a half speed and not get anybody injured, than it is to try to play full speed and possibly get one of our biggest athletes injured, because then we don't have them for the game, and for what? And I think it has its good and bads. The bad part is you don't have these guys getting the real game life scenario, the full speed, what's going to be open at what time, how fast is my receiver actually, how fast is that corner actually, how quick is this linebacker going to be able to jump this route in his zone? There's a lot of things that play into this that you just don't get at practice. This is why our elite quarterbacks in the NFL right now are all quarterbacks that have been with their team for long periods of time. Even Jared Goff, I would not put in elite quarterback status. He's playing well, but he's not an elite quarterback because he still makes mistakes because he's still young. Right. 3 years from now, he's going to be an elite quarterback because everybody that comes in there is going to know exactly what he's doing. He's going to know exactly what they do because he's been with that team, with that system, with those receivers for a long enough time. Gone are the days that we could just bring in a new quarterback and him be elite for the only exception to this one I'll say is Patrick Mahomes, but he's an alien of some sort. He's damn Kermit the Frog.
I don't know what he's done in his lifetime to get where he is.
Kermit, the exceptionally great athlete alien.
I hate it because we're playing against him twice a year,
Right. And I got to give credit where it's due, though. He's a great quarterback, and he's doing great things in Kansas City.
But I hate that he's not on our team.
I hate that he's in our division. I think that's what I hate.
Yeah. Let's see. Christina says, blast from the past. Wants to talk about the Patriots. We're not doing that.
Ew.
Justin says number 30 is running well. I'm expecting us to still have that 50-50 split between runs. I think they're both doing fairly well.
Absolutely.
Justin asks, who's that going to have the better year, Sanders or Sutton? Your take?
Ooh, I don't like this question.
I don't like it either. That's why I gave it to you first.
I don't like this question because either one of them really could have great years. And really what it comes down to is the team that we're playing, because the two play types are completely different. The one thing I like about Sutton a lot is that what he does looks so slow, so well. He's so smooth with his motions that it just happens. He gets open somehow. He gets that separation from the corner so easily. With Emmanuel Sanders, it's all quick feet. It's all the quickness, his ability to break tackles, his ability to get upfield is so much faster. I don't like this question because it depends on who we play and how often we target him. Emmanuel Sanders could have been a big part of this last game, but he wasn't because he wasn't targeted very often. And I wasn't in with the booth with Scangarello, although that'd be awesome. No. But I wasn't in the booth with him to know why he wasn't getting the looks that he should have. But that's. If I had to guess, I'm going to say Sutton, because right now it looks like Flacco and Sutton are really jiving much better than Sanders and Sutton is.
Yeah, I agree. And that's not, I think, what any of us expected going into the season.
No, I agree.
We figured the veteran quarterback would be leaning very heavily on the veteran wide receiver. And
let's also remember that Flacco used to hate Sanders when they played against each other when Sanders was at Pittsburgh and Flacco was in Baltimore.
True. Good point. But I think this is good because we're not expecting to have Sanders next year. He has 1 year left on his contract. He's probably going to be asking for some money. And I just don't know if we're going to be willing to spend that money on him or try and give something like Chris Harris Jr. another year contract. Bottom line, we're going to have to lose somebody next year, I believe. Right.
We have a lot of contracts next year. And if we're going to get into that, that's the huge one. We're going to lose somebody. But I don't really want to get into that till maybe after we're, out of the playoffs.
Right. My point with this is I'm okay with us using the younger guys.
Right.
Versus relying on the veterans who at most going to be there for 2 or 3 more years. The fact that we're using these younger guys and that they're being productive and reliable, I'm very okay with that in any situation.
Right.
So
Right, but we need to be able to use those veteran guys for situations where we need them.
Right.
Like, Emmanuel Sanders on the 2-point conversion, that was clutch.
yeah,
And that was we had to go to our veteran guy because we know for a fact he's going to bring it down. He's been in these situations before. That is a Super Bowl winning wide receiver,
Yep.
and we need to give him the ball. So we need to make sure that we take advantage of the veterans that we have.
agreed. Jeff says, how can you give up 6 sacks versus Green Bay with heavier rush and pass percentage during the game? I just think it comes down to, I really think Reisner is the strongest point on our offensive line. You know, the rookie is the strongest point. And you look at the rest of them, we're banged up, we're injured. We got Wilkinson filling in for Juwan James, and he's done well, but he's a second string guy. He's a backup, playing a starter role. And yeah, we can credit Garrett Bowles for not holding, but he's still not a solid, left tackle, if you ask me.
I think it's a work in progress. I think Bull is the work in progress. Obviously, Reisner, and you watched he didn't let up a single pressure, which I think towards the end of the year you're going to start seeing this, right? Reisner is going to be on the top, the top end of the offensive lineman. We're not going to do very well, but he's going to be the Joe Thomas of the Broncos, I think, and I really hope it is. But I think the big thing with the offensive line and the pressures is that the Green Bay defense is not the Green Bay defense of past, and their defense is really stepped up to another level to become who they are. They played very well against the Bears in week 1. They played very well against us. This defense is not anything to sleep on. So let's not pretend like this defense is something that's never gotten a touchdown. Now, I will say we ran a lot, and the passing and the amount, I think the percentage of passing, it looks bad that we got sacked that much, but a lot of it was multiple things down the road. I'm not worried about the sacking. I'm not. I really am not. And I think that the offensive line is going to bring it up. And I think Mike Munchak is the right guy to bring it in to make sure that, our run offense is great. Our run block is great. Our pass block could use some work. It used some work in the holding area. We got rid of the holding. Now let's do some work and actually give them some protection.
Okay. We got some good questions here. Justin asked another one, but Mike also asks, do you think when James comes back, we'll reshuffle the line?
Yes.
In what way?
Yeah. Well, so here's my thing. I think Reisner is going to move out to tackle.
Okay.
And I think he's quick enough, and I think he's got the mentality enough to be able to move out to tackle. And I think Mike Munchak's the right guy to be able to put him out there. I think Bowles might get pulled into guard. I know he's played tackle his entire life, but I think he needs to kind of step up and play that easier role to be able to get that thing.
Okay with
but
that.
Juwan James, I think he's going to step back in for Wilkinson. He's got to. And by when he comes back shuffling around, I just think in general the shuffle is going to happen eventually before the end of the season. I think it's going to be all up to Mike Munchak, and he might be seeing something that we don't, which obviously he does. But we'll see how that works out towards the later end of the season.
Okay. Justin says, okay, more sacks, Miller or Chubb?
Pass.
Pass. It could be a 50-50 split. I mean.
So my answer is going to be unpopular. It's going to be Chubb.
Why is that unpopular?
It's going to be unpopular because I don't know. Everybody wants Von Miller to be the guy, and he is. He's the face of the franchise. Like, why is he? And the unpopular part is that Chubb's going to get more because I don't think people care as much about Von Miller as they used to. I don't think people, and by people I mean offenses. I don't think offenses are game planning against Von Miller as much as they used to, and I think Chubb has a little bit of a step. So the other thing is, they're coming from both ends, and Chubb is always coming from the blind side. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed this lately, but Chubb is always the one coming from the blind side, and Von's coming from the front. And I think that's mentally a smart thing. Could you imagine Von Miller's rushing at you straight in your face?
No.
So Bradley Chubb's going to come in from the backside. And the other thing, too, he's got a little bit of a spin move that Von kind of lost. I don't know if he lost a step on the spin move. He's always been an outside underneath taker. But Bradley Chubb's got this spin move that's lethal against outside tackles, and I think he's going to start getting in there a little bit more. I think he had more pressures than Von in this last game, and I think that's why I say that too.
Okay, I don't think it's unpopular. I think just a good analysis.
Yeah.
Red Cloud, we're going to ask a couple more questions, and then we'll look at a couple more questions. We'll look at the schedule and kind of start heading out, guys. Red Cloud says, is Bowles a work in progress, or do we miss Manning's pre-snap reads and checkdowns with throwing the ball so fast the O-line didn't get a chance to hold? So one, is Bowles still a work in progress? How much time are we going to give him? You know, I think, again, with Mike Munchak, if Mike Munchak can't fix him, then nobody can.
Right.
So, you know, we're seeing some progress. I need to see 2 or 3 games back-to-back with maybe only 1 holding penalty.
Right.
But do you think that's the offensive line is struggling because you don't have somebody like Manning back there making those good reads? Or
what he said is a great take. It's a combination of we're working on him and we're trying to get him better. And hey, if we can't work on him, getting him better, and he's the best we got, we have to change up our game plan to not give him the opportunity to hold. So those quick passes, they were working. Like I said, that quick pass to Hoyerman over the middle, like as soon as that pre-snap read of that linebacker vacating and being able to get to Hoyerman over the middle for 10 yards was a great read. The quick dump offs, the quick outsides, I think that's amazing for our offensive line. It doesn't give them a chance to hold, and B, it doesn't exasperate them as often as it should. So you got to imagine these guys are living in the trenches. And you know, Matt for the does the pregame podcast with me. He's an offensive line guy, offensive line coach. He's very much, those guys get exhausted, especially if they're pass blocking against some of the most elite. And that's the other thing I want to mention too. These guys are the most elite athletes in the world at football. They've been doing this their entire lives. These are the most elite, the top of the top of the top guys that you could possibly get out here every single week. Day in and day out, you're playing against the top guys. They get exhausted. And if we can get those quick throws, that's how the Patriots have lived their entire life. Their offensive line has been great because all he does is get that ball off so quickly that they don't get a chance to A, hold, or B, get too exhausted so they could drive down the field as much as they want. And I think that's what Scangarello is starting to realize, and it definitely showed the last game. So hats off to you on saying that. You know, it wasn't really something I thought about until now, but hey, that was great.
Yeah. Red Cloud has some, I think, some solid insight himself. Justin says, thanks, gents. Great insight. Stay Broncos. Go Broncos. So let's kind of start wrapping this up.
Right.
I'll bring up the schedule here really fast. Before I do, guys, remember patreon.com/Orange Weekly if you want to donate, get some entries into a chance to win a monthly prize and the season prize. Also, just help us bring you better content. Maybe pay for some of the liquor that we're going to be start shooting every time we say something about sprouting or whatnot.
Right.
Guys, check that out.
We got to hit up Captain Morgan for that sponsorship.
We do. We also got the pregame, postgame podcast, this show, our halftime hash show, pregame show. We got a lot of stuff for you guys. So just make sure you're checking out Orange Weekly and following along with what we're doing. And again, we're here to interact with you guys and answer your guys' questions. So at the end of the day, that's what we're here for. But Jared, pulling up the schedule here. We got 3 losses. I know the graphic here isn't updated. Three losses here. We got home against Jaguars and essentially another home game against the Chargers. And then 2 more home games after that. So essentially we're looking at one of them technically is away, but if you want to count playing in LA against the Chargers another home game, we essentially got 4 home games in a row. What do you think, then Tennessee, then Kansas City, what do you think we can do getting up to the Kansas City game?
I don't think that winning out is out of the picture. The LA Chargers game, I will say the LA Chargers game is going to be difficult. So I went last year and we were probably like 75% orange and then like maybe 25% light blue and maybe like, I'd say 23% light blue and maybe like 2% like the random Rodgers jerseys that we saw walking around. But I will say this, their team made the playoffs last year. They got really far in the playoffs last year, and LA is starting to get a little bit more excited about football, which is what the Chargers have wanted since day one.
Right.
And I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent, but I'm expecting a little bit more of a 50-50 split with Broncos fans and Chargers fans this year. But you're right. It's going to be a little bit easier, and the Chargers aren't playing very well this year, so I don't see it bad. And they're always riddled with injuries every single year.
Right.
And I see it happening again this year, and I don't know what they do down here in LA, what they're drinking or not drinking or not enough Cheerios and milk. I don't know, whatever it is. They're not keeping healthy. So I see us winning out, going into the Chiefs game and being a little bit more of a contender going in. Again, that's the optimist in me. If we lose 1 or 2 games in there, I don't think it's going to be to Jacksonville. I don't think it's going to be to the Chargers because we played too heavy against the Chargers. What were the other 2 games that we got going on?
The Titans and then the Chiefs.
The Titans I could see giving us a hard time. Okay. And that's because it's a team that we're not used to playing. All these other teams, they're very similar in the styles, in the coaching. The Titans have a different coaching status. They're a little bit more physical, and it's going to be a little bit more difficult depending on injuries on both sides. But we'll cross that road. But I don't see us. I could see us winning out and going 4-3 into the Chiefs.
I think that'd be fantastic, man. And if anything, it kind of string together these home games. Away, home. But the fact is, they're kind of lining up right now. This is a really good chance in our season to get that momentum going. Forget about the 0-3 start.
Right.
Yeah, we're probably gonna drop. We're gonna drop some other games along the way. But if we can get to that, 3-3, even get to 4-4 at some point, stay at 500, at least gives us a chance on the backside to get into the winning season, not just 8-8, but maybe even 9-7.
Right.
But gotta start winning those games now, man. And if we keep seeing that progress every week, like we have been, I think there's. I know I'm the biggest optimist here at Orange Weekly, but I just don't see it that far from being actuality.
The unfortunate part is we have to take advantage of the home field advantage that we have now, because we're not going to have it later on in the season. We're going to have a long stretch of away games that we're going to need to take advantage of if we can't take advantage of it being at home.
Right. All right, man. Over to you for some closing thoughts.
Hold on, I got my notes.
Yeah, your notes. I love it.
Let's see if I didn't talk about something here. Talked about puberty, so we're good there.
Yeah, we did.
Rushing 3 on 3rd and long. We talked about that one.
Yep.
Dalton Reisner is king. We talked about Reisner. Cool. Okay, and then I talked about this a little bit, but I kind of want to point this out. And again, it helps that we have the most amazing following at Orange Weekly, and then that the comments and the people that watch us are diehard fans, and they're here to the end, and I love it. But I wanted to mention, because I thought we'd have a lot more naysayers, we're playing in an NFL of elite athletes. These guys are the best of the best, no matter what team they go to. Now, even the Dolphins, these guys are the guys that have dreamt their whole lives, and these are the elite athletes in the NFL and in the sport. People from all over the world want to play in the NFL. So let's remember that just because we think we have the top guys, those little mistakes that we make, that's what makes the difference between good and bad teams. And not just good and bad, good and better teams. Right. I think every team in the NFL is good, because every team in the NFL has the elite athletes to be able to be a good team. We have to remember that. Being 0-3, we have to think about that. We played a Super Bowl contender, a playoff contender, and the Raiders.
Week 1 fluke.
Week 1, I hate the Raiders, man. Anyways, we have to look at the bright side on this. Yes, we're not doing very well. Yes, the record doesn't look good, but we have a lot to look forward to. And again, I'm so much more confident in this team this year than I have in the past 3 years. And it's unfortunate, but it's the truth.
Right. I'd rather be in this position, than what we were the last 2 years. We start optimistic, even second season. Yeah, okay, this is, VJ's, second, season. Things are going to get better, and very quickly we realize that nothing's going to change.
Nothing changed.
We're seeing even the coaches progress themselves in their play calling and how they game plan and how they prepare the team, which is trickling down to the players who are staying motivated and, being proactive. And I'd like to see a little bit more energy on the field, but I think once we kind of, we're getting the lead, we win a game. Okay, they're going to feel it a whole lot more too. It was bugging me how much Green Bay was celebrating. They had a right to, obviously, but they were having fun. You know what I mean? It wasn't they were just being pompous assholes, but they were having fun. And I want our guys to, be in that same position. And I don't think we're that far away from them to be able to celebrate as well. It's tough to celebrate when you get a touchdown, but now you're down 24-17 at the end of the game. But if you're getting those turnovers, you're getting those sacks, man, now those guys can start having fun and keep building on that. I think this is the perfect week to start doing it.
I agree. I think this is the week we turn it around. This is the week it starts clicking. And that's, I think, what Vic Fangio is waiting for, is that, hey, system. He's a very systematic coach, and that system's going to start catching up, and it's going to click with everybody, and they're going to be like, wow, once they give into the system, it's going to start taking off. You know who else is a systematic coach? Bill Belichick.
Boom, mic drop. Boom. Hey guys, thanks for joining us. Check out the post-game podcast and stuff on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play now. Pre-game podcast coming out in a couple days. Otherwise, we'll see you Sunday for our pre-game show. at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, and then our halftime show as well. So there's the glasses. There they are.
It's here. Got to
There
bring
they
back.
are. You guys have a good rest of your day. Go Broncos. Jared, thanks again for watching or for joining.
Hey, go Broncos.
Sweet. We'll catch y'all guys later.